Coach down.
I appreciate everybody being here. Obviously, an extremely important day and a great day for Tennessee football and the future of Tennessee football. Great practice with our guys today that are currently here. Some of those being new enrollees too, and then obviously the signing day that took place this morning for most of those guys. It's been a lot of fun going through the process with these guys, believing obviously their athleticism, but just as importantly who they are, and like to thank their families for entrusting us with their sons here for the next 3 to 5 years. I want to congratulate our staff. That's our full-time coaches, everybody inside the building, our personnel department, our on-campus recruiters, and our training staff. Just everybody. It takes everybody inside of the building to recruit elite players, and really proud of the effort that everybody put into it, and I think it speaks to who we are. Also, a thank you to all the high school coaches in this state, but everywhere that we've been for receiving us, our coaches, the right way, and helping us navigate the process. For those that we ended up signing somebody from, thank you for, again, just trusting us, who we are, what we're about, and where this program is heading as you sent your players to us. So with that, I'll open it up for a few questions here.
Nico's got some time in these bowl practices. He's got some interactions he can have with Joe and Taven. What do you want him to get out of these 2 weeks and then the couple of months that he has before spring?
Yeah, for everybody that's here, I'm proud of the class that we put together. I think 28 guys. For the guys that are here right now, currently, Nico included, you're not going to walk into the back end of the season, learn an entire playbook, and know what to do. You get a chance to sit in meetings. You get a chance to go out there and do a lot of individual work. Get a chance to compete in some one-on-one situations. As much as anything, I think they learn the tempo of the game. They learn what it feels like to be a college athlete. I think it creates urgency in the way that they prepare when they get back to campus. And even during the downtime, for us, our guys don't arrive until later in January. There's a lot of time between now and then, and so I think it speaks to the urgency that they feel that they have to have. And so it changes the way they approach the weight room. It changes the way they prepare, understanding our playbook, some of the fundamentals and technique that they're going to need to go compete at a really high level during spring ball. I just got done talking to those guys after practice, and really proud for the guys that have been here already and gotten a couple of bowl practices underneath their belt. First of all, you notice their athleticism and their speed, their length, their size, in particular for the guys up front. In this class, we were able to, go get guys that we think can help compete and grow and to have an opportunity to play. They got to learn it, earn it, and take it, but help us take a step. And, in particular defensively, just 2 years ago we were hit heavy in the portal, right? For us, continuing to recruit that defensive side of the ball to add the depth that we need, along with the athleticism that we want, is extremely important. And so for everybody that's here, I think it just helps create urgency in preparing for spring ball. And those guys have had an opportunity to spend time with our players. Our players that are inside of our building have been awesome with them, showing them what it means to be a Tennessee football player, what the culture is inside the building. They've had an opportunity to hang out with them outside of this building. We've done some team building stuff, and I think it's been a great experience for all of them.
Austin?
Coach, can you talk about Nathan Laycock? That seemed like it was a pretty good eval by you all early on. He kind of took off his senior year and just had a massive year. And then, two, I know Arion Carter was, very important to you, specifically in-state kid, linebacker position of need. What was it that you liked about him?
Yeah, Arion, super athletic, smart, competitive, one of the most mature guys that I've gone through the process with. Just, what he was looking for, the questions that he asked, every time that we had a conversation. He pays attention to the details. You can notice that by the questions he's asking about a previous game that we played, also in the way that he prepares inherited for the games that he was going to play. That linebacker position is somewhere that we had to add a bunch of guys to, just depth-wise, and I'm proud of the recruitment of Arian. That was big for us as a program, but just in state too, to get two of the top players inside the state, and guys will be able to help us for a long time. I think our personnel department, our staff, this group of guys, highly talented, believe that there's going to be dynamic, elite players inside of this group. We were recruiting this off of a lot of outside noise still, when we began this process with these guys, and I think it speaks to our guys' ability to evaluate inside of our building, look at where they're at, where they're going, their athletic traits, and project where they're going to be by the time you get to signing day. That's true with Nathan. He's long, he's athletic, he's already made plays out on the practice field, highly competitive. The thing I loved about him so far is just his ability to take a rep, take coaching, and then incorporate that into his next rep. And that's what you're looking for in your young guys.
Coach, you bring in 3 cornerbacks in Matthews, Gibson, and Conyer. What do you like about those guys? What do you think they can do? And I guess even getting probably far ahead, what chance do you think they have of contributing early for you guys?
Yeah, for all of our secondary guys that we brought in, all 5 of them here on campus competing already from day one that they stepped on the practice field. Without intentionally trying to watch them, like they would pop out. You notice their athleticism, their ability to play balls, to be in great body position. They're going to continue to grow fundamentally, but as a skill guy coming in on the defense side of the ball, their ability to blend right into what we're doing has been really impressive from all of those guys. You look at the corner position for us this year, the injuries that we've had, the lack of depth, be important for all those guys to learn quickly and be ready to go compete by the time we hit the grass in spring ball.
Coach, you've talked about length and athleticism a lot already, specifically up front at defensive end or Leo with Hobbs, Chindavi, and Caleb. What can you say about the potential of those 3 guys as pass rushers?
Yeah, to me, if you're going to start from scratch and build a program, starts up front. And we're not starting from scratch, but that's the quickest way to affect the game and affect the way the game's played defensively, which changes the entire scope of the game in all 3 phases. Those guys are all high-level athletes. A lot of them play multiple sports. They're explosive. You can see them, jump off the floor if they're playing basketball. You see short area quickness. They have great length. Physical traits that you're looking for when you design your program. These are the measurements, the specifics that you're looking for. Man, those guys all fit the criteria. And then I think they're highly competitive individuals, man, that are about the right things and fit the culture too. And it's hard to find all of those things in one student athlete that you're able to sign. I think that class up front has a chance to help us change the way the game's played.
Josh, with Castles, the tight end, obviously y'all are replacing at least one tight end going forward next season. Needed some more depth there, I guess 2. What did you see from him? What did you like about him? And is that a position where you're still looking for guys?
Yeah, in the tight end position, just the roster that we inherited, being limited in the number of guys you could sign a year ago, all of those things. It's just that's a real position of need for us, and as we try to replace young man like McAllen is athletic, has the ability to play in space, physical size, strength, want to, and explosive power to play in the core as well, which is something that we have to have. You guys know that's a huge part of our game. Smart, competitive, fits the traits. He's already here. I think he blends into the culture of that tight end room extremely well too. He's already connected with those guys. Looking forward to getting him healthy and rolling here when we get back in January.
Specifically, Cam Selden can kind of do a little bit of a lot, playing run back and a wide receiver. What do you guys like about him, and where will you look to start him off at?
Yeah, dynamic player. You know, you look at his junior tape, was electric as a defensive player as well. He's a football player. Instincts and then athleticism. Has the ability to help you in the return game as well. He's a guy that has position flexibility, and so for us in our tempo, that gives you formation flexibility. It gives you the ability to find a matchup and put him in a position to go win. A guy that is a skill guy offensively. You have a dynamic, explosive athlete that we feel like will eventually have the ability to be a home run hitter. You have a lot of different ways to get him the football. And obviously in what we do offensively, the creativeness that we have, we can find ways to use that weapon.
Trevor Duncan, what does it mean to bring a guy from basically your backyard into the program?
Yeah, huge for us. Length, explosive power. He's another guy that's a football player. He's extremely tough. He's about the right things. I love the intangibles that he's going to bring into the building. Can't wait to get him here. It's important that we recruit this state at a really high level. I mentioned that, you know, in my press conference the first day that I got here. Taking the right players that fit who we are and what we're about, that also have the ability to play at a high level. I like what our staff has done here inside of the state in this recruiting class as we continue to build it. And Trevor's a huge part of that. He's got a great future ahead of him.
Coach, what has impressed you about Nico from what you've been able to watch early on?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that got a chance to see him in person and on tape, too. He's athletic, and I say that meaning that he understands his body. He can self-correct and get himself into position as he's learned what it should feel like in the pocket in a few short days. He can already start to correct himself. He understands when something happens, why it's happening. That's only going to continue to heighten. And obviously, you know, the raw skills are there. Arm talent. And extremely athletic and explosive inside of the pocket, can make plays with his feet. You know, in a short amount of time, we've been able to see some of those things already.
Coach, how much easier is probably not the right word. How much less difficult maybe was it to go out and recruit this year as opposed to the first time around, now that you and your staff have kind of established an identity and you know, high school coaches and families know what your program is about?
Well, in year one, there was a lot of outside noise that we couldn't control. You're trying to talk about what you're going to do. Then you have proof of the growth of the program in year one. You're still speaking to that growth in year two. These guys, a lot of them were already on board. Some of them came on board as the season unfolded. I think they understand the trajectory, where this program's heading, the fact that you can compete for championships, win national individual awards, and achieve all your on-field goals right here while you're wearing the power tee, and you get to do it while you're having a heck of a lot of fun competing every day with the guys inside the building, and you put those things together, you got a really powerful product to go sell, and as we continue to build here, truly believe we'll continue to only recruit at a more elite level as we continue down that path.
Coach, kind of a bigger picture question with recruiting high school and junior college players versus the portal. Some teams are going portal heavy with double-digit guys. You guys did that your first year, maybe smaller classes in last year and maybe this one. But just how do you kind of balance wanting to build your program with guys you bring in from high school and developing those guys versus bringing in college players who may be a little bit more ready-made? How do you kind of approach that?
Yeah, you know, year one, a lot of those guys were taken after spring ball, just, you know, where our roster was at and trying to patch some things up as we were getting ready to go compete and play on the field. A majority of what we're going to do is going to be through the high schools. I think you got to bring in kids that are going to develop. It gives you stability and growth inside of your program, gives you leadership inside of your program. There's a culture piece to this game that's extremely important. I think that has to live within your high school kids that you're recruiting. At the same time, you know, because of the transfer portal, there's things that you may need to patch inside of your roster. Portal, junior college give you the ability to do that. But at the end of the day, I think it's about roster development and the development of your players inside your program, and that starts with the high school kids that you're bringing in.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Players here right after their list.